begins in 1956 from France. We see a small child who used to come to a church and often help his father in the work. Father was very powerful. That child completes all his work today and wins. He is going down in his slippers to keep the liquor. Actually, that is a small church. Then he feels some movement here, and an off sound is heard. That child was very scared and went and called his father. When father comes there, he finds holy water there, that is that water which could drive away the ghosts and spirits. It was used to cure any disease. It was boiling vigorously there, after which the water turned into steam and evaporated. A shadow was also visible on the other side, and then a horrifying scene was in front of the eyes. This shadow was not of anyone else but of oppression, which kills him by throwing him in the air and hitting him in the eye. The intelligentsia is not shown in the upper part of the church. Just there, we see a man being carried away. Now, further in the story, we are shown a sister Iron. She was living her life in another church. There was also a girl, Deborah, whom her dad had sent to the church. Iron talks to him that my dad did not like me at all. She didn't like him because Iron Sir knew in advance whatever bad was going to happen. Well, now here in the church talks were going on about non-diamond. Now the story of Shiva takes place again in France. Let us look at the hostel school, where a man named Morris used to work. A madam used to run that hostel. She talks too much to Morris. The reason for this was that madam's son had died in the slippers of this school a few years ago. The reason she became irritable was because she used to talk to everyone angrily. A very cute girl also sleeps on the couch in this school hostel. His Moris are also very good friends. It was here that some girls used to harass the sofa often. Maurice always protects them from them. But there was something wrong with Maurice. He used to do strange things. One day when a girl comes to school to give things, she sees Maurice in a strange condition. He was sitting outside eating cockroaches because to clean the redness of cockroaches, the madam of this school had said that suddenly a demonon comes out from inside Maurice and kills that girl. There is also a demonunky inside her, meaning together we read the story. In the beginning I saw that the one who had the bag in his hand was none other than Morris, and the nun inside was the demon, who was not killing everyone just like that. There was some secret hidden behind this, which we will come to know later in the story. On the other hand, Iron was also having strange thoughts. He sees Maurice in everything who was asking for his help. Then suddenly Diman scares him by saying no, which opens his eyes, because of which he gets very scared. One day, the same girls who used to tease Sophie take her to a slipper where Madam had stopped everyone from going. There is a goat on the window, and she plays a game with it. She says, "Go, I have to look into the eyes of that goat. Those are the eyes of a demon. If you divert your attention even a little, the demon will come and kill you." While Sophie was looking at him, the harassing girls slyly go away from there. Sophie was completely alone when suddenly there was movement there. On the other hand, Sophie sees Damon, which scares her. Well, then Morris comes there and saves him. On the other hand, we are shown Sister Iron, whom the father calls to him and tells that pages and nuns are being killed again in Mughal cities. He tells that a father was run over and killed in France. He was talking about the same father whom we saw in the beginning of the story. He says that Dimundan has come again. He is not dead whom you fought before also. You can defeat him again. Iron says no. Now I can't do anything like this. He says no. Now you will have to see all this because it is a matter of world and humanity. You are the one who should investigate this case. Will have to do. After hearing all the things, Sister Iron overcomes her fear and leaves. To solve this case, Iron leaves for France where her father was burnt to death. Then secretly, Tebra also comes and sits in the train with him. When Irange sees this, she says, "You should not have come, sir. If this is known in such a church, then you are coming with me without telling me. So the church people will expel you because she says she is hers. Nothing like that happens. You know my mom also died while walking. I did not see anyone passing through Rakal Samosa." Hearing all these things, Iron says that when it is cream, then it is done with great pleasure. Well, both of them reach France. As soon as Iron reaches the church, he thinks of the same child again. We saw this child with his father at the beginning of the story. Now he is seen playing there. Whenever she asks the child about the incident of that day, he tells that yes, he saw a shadow in the church that day, and that is why he sees a nun here. Here in the library, the pans themselves turn and take the form of a nun. That demon had strangulated the Iron. Then Iron sees another bird whose eyes were being taken out, and then she becomes happy even after falling. Here soon comes Dana, who took care of him. On the other hand, strange things were happening in Sophie's school also. Demandon used to come again and again inside the malls also. Because of this, everyone in the school was very scared, and even Iron quickly regained consciousness. Here now he remembers that last time he did not save Maurice from the devil, and since then that woman has possessed little Moria under her control. Now Tebra comes to him and tells that someone has given him the mark of holy claws. This was the same child whom we saw at the beginning of the story. There was a strange mark on that claws. This mark was also made on the holy clauses of all the people who had died. So after going to the library, they come to know that this mark is a family mark which is related to the family of a very big priest, St. Louis, and the prince whom Iam had seen in his mind, whose eyes were being taken out, was that saint. Louis's youth was a very powerful thing which was hidden somewhere. Ian learns that all these people are from the family of St. Blowing, who is dead. That little diamond had a special purpose. She wanted to reach the eyes of St. Louis by killing all his donors. She wanted those eyes so that she could get back all her lost power. Here the librarian also tells Ian that Diamond Man used to be an angel who was expelled by God and took away all his powers. It also tells the address of the place where they can go to get information about all the things. He tells that those eyes are buried in a black slipper, not far from here, where earlier there used to be a wine factory, but later a hostel school was built at that place. The librarian was talking about the same hostel school where Maurice used to work. That is, Maurice, they were given work in that hostel school under the pretext of working, was searching for the eyes, that is, the demon who had possessed and controlled Maurice, was searching for them only. On hearing this, Ian and Deborah set out towards the hostel. Only then do we see what had happened to Maurice. Instead, he was sitting in front and hitting his head, which the school madam also sees. She brings him to his senses and tells him not to worry about his health, go and rest for a while. I just kept saying that I don't know. How did I come here? Then Madame starts coming back with the same slipper. She goes there to open the lock and see there. Then she sees the ghost of her own dead son who was scaring her. Here, none other than D1 was controlling the soul of Madame's son. Now she uses the soul of Madame's son and kills Madame by making him kill her. Madame's dead body is found, which was in a very bad condition, due to which now all the children living in the hostel got scared. At night, when Maurice and Sofa's mum were dancing to attract the attention of all the children, then suddenly Maurice's health had started deteriorating, and the mark of the cross on his neck had now become very bad. On the other hand, Ironor had reached Deborah B. Hostel, who tells Sophie and her mum to stay away from Maury now because Iron had come to know that Maury is possessed by a demon, yet she goes inside Maury and says, "Hello." After saying this, the patient gets tired and goes towards the same rice. Seeing him going towards a small church, Iron tries to stop him. Died. That little one. I didn't knock him away by attacking. Tebra was also trying to stop her mind, but she was unable to do so. Then Sister Iron gets up and starts hitting something again, due to which the pressure inside Maurice got stronger. Tabiat Iprat quickly goes and hits Maurice on the head from behind, with something due to which he became unconscious. She ties him and makes him sit at a place so that he cannot go anywhere from here and now. Along with some sisters, she goes inside the iron ore Deborah Rice so that they can find the eyes that Demandant was looking for. Sophie also wants to join them in that small church. She also shows them the window on which the goat was drawn. She says, "Who knows? Sankalu's family members may have made it so that if any next person related to them or with their ears donation comes here, he can get those eyes." She tells that if sunlight falls on the eyes of this goat, then they shine. Now to see this, when Deborah hits the goat toys in her hand, laser light comes out from the goat's eyes, which tells them the path to where the eyes are buried. Now she takes out the one which was kept in a box for some time. Dimundan comes in his true form and starts scaring all the children outside. Dapra goes there and saves them. They all ran away and went into a room where they were haunted by the ghost of the same madam whom Demand had killed in Apple. There was an iron along with the sofa. Their possessed Morris was drunk, who tries to snatch the food from Sister Iron. But she runs away with the sofa, which was somehow escaping from the sofa made in a box. She reaches the top where the building was about to collapse from one side. All this was happening because of the power of those eyes. Just then, a bright yellow light comes out. Now even the demon man could not come close to her, but still Moraes, that is the demon inside her, was about to go to Sophie. Then Iron comes there, takes her from her and places her in between, due to which a very powerful light comes out, and she, because of this, Maurice was now beginning to suffer. Everyone thinks that he died. Sophie is very sad to see this because Morris was her very good friend. Now when she goes to the island to check on him, he was alive. This was just a trick of Demanon to crush them. Now that Demanon quickly raised those eyes, she had got all the strength again. She had come back to her original form again. Those eyes were now in her eyes again. She caught hold of a girl in the hostel who always used to stretch the sofa and put neither her own nor her blood inside her mouth. That Demonon had become so powerful that she was about to kill the Iron by lifting it in the air in the same way. At the beginning of the story, Iron sees his mother after he had killed his father. Her eyes were also shining, meaning irony. She was from the family of Entluas. She herself looked inside, and by awakening her inner powers, she extinguished the fire that the demon had set on her, meaning if you are from the family of Entluas, if you are strong, then you can defeat those evil forces. Now seeing all this, Demanon gets very irritated, so she attacks the sofa. Arian here asks everyone to pray. Notice that there is wine here because, as Live Radiant had told that earlier, there used to be a wine factory there and there was wine in the church. By interrupting the prayer itself, that thing becomes its blood, and when it does all this with both faith, that wine gets transformed into blood and ends the oppression that had sent the Aryans to hell, Nardosak. Everything is shown absolutely fine. Now, at the end of the story, we are shown two paranormal investigators who can talk to ghosts and spirits. Teji had received a call from the church. That is, he had to solve a new case, and with this, the story of the film also ends here.